Yo, welcome back to Funsie, everybody. It's been the 2 weeks off that we have promised, and we are back with another heater.
Delivered.
Yeah, we're committing to the schedule, and we're back. And hey, maybe we'll do a 1 weeker next week. Who knows? You know, I am officially full-time content, as I mentioned last time. So this is actually my first week doing it. So we're figuring it out, ladies and gentlemen. We're figuring it out.
Isn't it nice?
How are you guys doing?
Yeah, nothing about us. I want to hear about you.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that like? Yeah, I'm good.
So far it's been, I'm on my second day, you know. Monday was my first day, and today's Tuesday. I don't know when this episode comes out. Wednesday, probably.
Tomorrow, yeah. 7 a.m.
But it's been good so far. I've kind of treated it like I ran in the morning, then read my Bible, and then kind of started my day. And it's really nice because I think we talked about it on the podcast. I'm going to be my boss is a pitfall and a pro. Like, it allows me to start my day whenever I want to start my day, but it also means I can start my day whenever I want to start my day. So it's definitely going to take, I think I'm the kind of guy that needs expectations and at least a tentative schedule. So I've been trying to lay out kind of what I want to get done in a day and like where blocks of time are going to be. Like I said, I'm going to run and read my Bible every morning, and then from there knock out the things I want to knock out. Like, I had a couple meetings yesterday. I edited for a while. Yeah, spent some time scripting and stuff like that. I think most of my weeks are going to be consumed by editing, as that's the beast that lays before me always. But
I hate editing.
I also want to make sure I'm making time to get better at editing and storytelling and film videos. And so, I don't know. I don't think I'm really going to have a flow for at least a month. And even then, in content creation and disc golf, I think it's going to be pretty fluid. You know, I think it'll probably change month to month, week to week, you know, even day to day sometimes. I'm sure it's already like that for you, Sajko.
Pretty much expectations that you have going into a thing like this. Yeah, a lot of them are true, but there will always be non-tangibles that you can't predict on a day-to-day basis. We're, of course, thinking that I am the content guy, which I am for another round. But simultaneously, there's, for example, Luke, warehouse boy, does like a lot of all the behind-the-scene things that like allow the business to make money. So like, hey, we get discs in, open them up, take pictures of them, put them online, communicate with stores. He's on his honeymoon, so it's like up to Avery and I to get all those things done. So it's pretty much trying to get my things done.
I didn't realize he wasn't married. Congrats to him.
He was the last one. Yeah,
he just got married.
Beautiful wedding.
During Maple Hill.
Yeah, during Maple Hill.
Wonderful.
So it takes, I still have to go out and like record content. One that I'm going to be going out and doing with match play coming up in Charlotte, which I just learned about last week. I knew that match play was coming up, but I didn't know
it was in Charlotte either.
No, you go to all the courses, and there's signs on every course in the area. I was gonna either go out as like an amateur and try to see how I shoot, because I still haven't played Nest. It's at Hornets Nest, just because you can compare it to how pros end up playing there. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that will be really interesting.
But yeah, back to you. Pretty much.
Will that be your first solo video on the channel?
Yeah. First solo video. I do have another one that I played with Joe, trying to like shoot doubles at USDGC. I think maybe if I didn't mention it during last week's episode, then I talked about it to you guys privately. But that's another one. Just I have to end up editing down the pipeline.
The pipeline of editing. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become an editor, and that's the story with all of us. We somehow became editors in some way.
Yeah, that's kind of what content's all about. So
yeah,
pretty much. I've found myself like being a morning person usually, living in Charlotte and doing all of these things, it's but not the case at all. I pretty much go to bed at like midnight on a daily basis, just because it's the time that I have to A, hang out with Kiara, and B, actually work on some things that aren't some of the things that I work on during the day. So it's just how it's gone over time. It's just interesting to see like that change. I'm okay with it. It hasn't been like a bad thing. But I'm sure there'll be lots of things that in your life, Josh, that you're like, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but then you end up adjusting them for, whatever ends up coming up.
Yeah,
I'm certain that'll happen.
Is I don't know if this is supposed to be shared on the podcast or not, but that clothing brand that you're starting, Sajko, is it, still everything going well?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, maybe I'll have to edit this out.
This is not. You can keep this in. I genuinely have no idea. Yeah, exactly. There's no way I could ever make time to do that right now.
I know, right? That's I said the story before, but that was my initial intent with Funsie and why I got the logos and all that. I was like, oh, I'll start a clothing brand, but then it's not worth it. Like, when you start a clothing brand, it's a good prospective idea, but like you basically have to dedicate it as your hobby, because if you want to grow it, and especially in disc golf, even more niche. I know a lot of apparel brands are struggling in disc golf right now. Mm-hmm. Maybe all of them.
Yeah.
Fair to say. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Josh, any more thoughts on pretty much what you got going on? Like, what do you got coming up now that you are officially a full-time boy?
Nothing too crazy. I mean, I guess something cool that happened that is because I'm full-time now is this weekend, kind of like last second, I messaged the guys at MVP and I was like, hey, can I go to Gyropalooza? And they didn't respond for a while, so I was like, oh, it's not happening. And then like 2 days before the event, they were like, oh yeah, we have you a ticket. And so literally as last second as possible, I booked a flight, flew up to Michigan, went to Gyropalooza, filmed the video, got a beam, and then flew back home pretty much same, I guess the morning after. And so I think there's going to be a lot more situations like that where, where my life used to be, full-time job, wife, friends, lots of commitments. I still have all of those things, but now my full-time job is disc golf. So there's a lot more flexibility for me, like to just go on a Tuesday and film something, or go somewhere, or reach out and make Gyropalooza happen, even though, it probably wouldn't have been able to happen if I was still doing my full-time job. It just would have been too much of a stressor. But yeah, I don't know. That video, I filmed the video like a month or two ago in Colorado that I'm editing right now and hoping to get out by the end of the week. It's kind of a beast. I think it might push to be my longest video ever. So that's cool. And then I filmed my In the Bag last Friday. So I have that one. And then I'm going to do a Prodigy only tournament in the next week or two.
Wow.
Beauty.
Yeah. Should be fun. I don't know. I'm going to try to do like the idea I have for it is going to be a little bit different than my typical like only discs tournament. Like, I want to set the stage for someone who might not understand why Prodigy is so hated, and so I'm going to try to do kind of like a history and like what's going on and Will Shoestrick and all that stuff, because I'm gonna pretty much frame it as I haven't tried a lot of Prodigy. Will comes on, I think he's doing a lot of good things. I'm gonna give it another shot and see what I think about it, as well as play a tournament like I'm a Prodigy sponsored player. So I don't know, I think it'll be a fun one, and who knows.
I think Will's done a insane job turning it around.
I think Will is currently saving that company. How long has it been since he has been signed on as CEO
since January. So has it been July?
It's January.
I thought it was all year. I thought it was.
It might have been all year. I think I'm tripping. I think I'm tripping.
You might be right too. I don't think July, but I think it's been since the beginning of the year. But
it hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah, it hasn't been long, but I think
he's
had a whole season under his belt.
I feel like I actually noticed a difference in the public persona.
Ben, because he came on, and then I remember that they signed people to the team as well. So it had to have been preseason. So it was probably January or December or something.
And they're trying to get manufacturing in the U.S. some of their molds. So I saw that. That was pretty cool. And
yeah,
their
seems to be doing all the right things.
Sick.
I
don't know.
We're considering carrying Prodigy at another round again. I guess they just never have. They did like occasionally with a couple drops, like the PA5. So they sent over like all their molds and everything for Joe and I to test out. And we're actually going to be doing like a collab disc with them coming up, which is pretty cool, which is like the entire concept of the video being like, hey, yeah, cool, let's do this. But I want to, being Joe, I want to throw all the discs and see like what I like before I were to make a decision on it. And
totally.
In that, it feels like on Instagram, people are not hype really at all about Prodigy. But when you go on YouTube, Joe set it up for people to, in the comments, ask and see like what people are, like what should we do for a mold? I mean, we probably have like, I haven't looked, 200 comments on that video, just people hyped, like super hyped on it. And this kind of leads in a little bit to something that I was worried about coming to another round was doing like the YouTube shorts and stuff. And at first it's like, hey, do we do unique videos for that platform and that aren't the same as the ones that we do on Instagram? But realistically, that's so difficult to do, and that would take so much time. So I just ended up uploading things that I did on Instagram over there. And thinking that they wouldn't do as well, or maybe you would be catering to the same people that you would have on Instagram. Not the case. Not the case at all.
No, it's two completely different demographics and audiences. Like, it's also the same. I don't know if you guys do it on TikTok as well, but from my experience, you can upload all three, like the same short on all three platforms, and you will get three completely different reactions. And then there's sometimes where I've had videos go for millions on YouTube and then 10K on TikTok and 10K on Instagram, or flip that metric. And then, you know, sometimes they do well on all of them, but it's really interesting. I think that YouTube tends towards people that are like, gosh, it's hard to say because it switched a little bit. It used to be YouTube was younger and TikTok was younger, and then Instagram was a bit older. But I'd almost make the argument now that YouTube Shorts tends towards the older generation, and Instagram, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'm sure it's also different for everyone. But I think in general there are different demographics, and I've seen the same thing, and it's really intriguing for sure.
Yeah, so if you're a creator out there and you're not uploading things on YouTube, or like you're not uploading shorts on YouTube, they're incredibly valuable. Like if you go through and see the number of people that subscribe just from a 15-second video alone, you're like, what? Why am I not doing this? Or why have I been like missing out on doing this for like all this time?
Definitely.
I feel like the way that I've thought about it is YouTube is not a social media platform. In a lot of ways, you use it to like be a part of a community, but it's kind of like a more one-way. Like, sure, you can go in the comments, but you're pretty much just like consuming. So like there was a portion of time, like for 3 years, that I didn't have social media, but I still consume stuff on YouTube. I think you're pretty much catering to a lot of those people, like that entire audience. I mean, it could be like my dad who doesn't have social media, but he still would like see the video and like has potential for shorts coming up for him and like checking them out. So yeah, I guess point being, YouTube Shorts, get after it. We reached 15K this last week. We started at 11K when I started, so we're cruising.
Sheesh.
Dude, that's sick. That's a great proof of concept.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy about it.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm sure Joseph and all those guys are happy with it too. Or I'd at least hope so.
So you boys went to Gyropalooza. This is Gyropalooza, as far as I have seen, although I do remember a YouTube video way back when I started of like them at like the tiny original HQ that they had being MVP. I didn't know that it was like an in-person actual event that someone could go to. Like coming in during COVID, I always saw it as being the like online. They would show like a YouTube video that was like, hey, this is what we have coming out and all the exciting things for next year or whatever it was. And then like mystery boxes. How did you guys, how did you guys like know, like, did this, well, I guess for Ben, because did you know that this was like a thing that you planned out, or was it like a more last second thing for you?
For me, no. I got the invite in like May, and I was like, dude, the
Sajko, I'm like 90% sure that Joseph probably got invited to this.
He may have. Not sure at all.
A bunch of dealers.
Because, yeah, it's...
Or pro shops.
Yeah, MVP, like... Pretty. I don't know if Ben wants to explain this, but pretty much how it works is you could either get in. There was 100 golden tickets in the mystery boxes last year.
Mm-hmm.
There was 100 sweepstakes winners, and then it was dealers, like their most prevalent dealers. So like if you met some certain threshold of buying MVP discs, then you got an invite, and then it was kind of like it was team members, and then people like me who asked and could show some proof of concept for why I provide value to it, And then all those people got plus ones. So it was probably 600 or 700 people, but there was probably only 300 or 400 invites. But I am certain that another round sold enough MVP to warrant some sort of invite, I was talking to some people and I was like, I'm shocked that another round isn't here, and I'm shocked that Foundation isn't here. And I kind of just chalked it up to maybe another round and Foundation just didn't see enough value from going. It was definitely a more of a fan environment, if that makes sense. Like it was set up to
that makes sense.
Hang out with the pros, hang out with, like it's invite only, right? And so a lot of the people there were dealers trying to get the exclusive drops. And then the fans that were there were trying to meet the pros or meet the dealers or whatever. Like, it was a very who's who kind of event. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I don't know. I could see Foundation or another round just not seeing a lot of value in it. Like, for me, the value was making a video. Like, as just a person, like, yeah, I would like to go to Gyropalooza. But at the end of the day, it's more valuable to, like, a fan or a dealer who's trying to really get the behind the scenes and the exclusive stuff that was there.
I can tell you my value because I was invited as like a partner for the disc golf expos, and getting the beam was sick. So I will say that sure. that was part of the reasoning. But
I think that was like a lot of people's like,
yeah.
I'm going to get the beam.
What is that? Is that like the name of a disc?
You don't know the Gyro X beam, dude? It's the most mythical disc in disc golf. It was literally sold for $500. Not when it was not sought, when it wasn't available.
Luke left last week, so my life has been strictly just
no. The beam has been since I'm pretty sure in like 2015, 2016 they did an ad in Disc Golfer magazine for Gyro X, and that's Gyro X, and that's the only disc that's in Gyro X, and they just never released it.
It's like 2 times the size of regular gyro.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah,
listeners.
For the listener, I am showing a beam, and it's huge.
I have a beam as well, but
have you thrown yours, Ben?
I ain't throwing mine, bro. It's literally hanging up.
Super beef,
yeah, boy.
like PD2 beef.
Yeah. Oh, that's sick. But yeah, the reason I went is just because, just like the value I saw is just supporting the people that support me. MVP's been a huge supporter of the expo, Andrew and Brad and Chad especially. So just like being able to talk with all of them and see all the guys in their own environment. So that was probably the biggest reason for me to go. Is just to like, they invited me, and to just support what they got going on and really just like think. I don't know. It's just one of those things. You they've helped me a ton. Then I was to see them in person to thank them. That's why I went.
No, that makes sense. I hear you. I understand. yeah, it was just, again, a thing that I didn't know was like, hey, this is a thing that you can go to. But seeing that it is actually a thing, I'm like, yeah, what the heck? Why was that not a thing? But then, of course, remember COVID, all that stuff.
It was a thing, yeah, before COVID, but it was small. It was tiny. It was like 30 people there. I don't know the actual numbers, but yeah, a lot of people were invited, but only probably like, I don't know, 500, 400 people showed up. I don't really know.
No, that's super cool. I think that is I watched Simon's video on it just to like get a feel for what it actually is, and hearing Germ say that this is probably the stepping stone for like a really cool continuous thing to come. I think that's well said. I think it's going to be like a highly anticipated part of the end of every year at this point.
Yeah, I think I have a few thoughts on that, and I don't know if we want to get into it now or later, but I think that MVP has something here. I think that it could be improved upon if there's some form or fashion of... Oh, interesting. Sorry, I just got a text. I got
like,
distracted.
did I freeze or?
Sorry. I think that they have something here. I think that if they could pair it with some form or fashion of like a tournament, like whether that be a Pro Tour stop or like just an A tier or even just something small, like some one round event. Like I really think it would add a lot of value to people coming to be able to play in something like that, especially if maybe even like their pro team is playing too and you just get to play alongside them. Like something I feel like I've noticed a lot is like, for example, GBO, Glass Blown Open, amazing event, one of the most hyped up events for years. And the second that they remove the AM side of it, no one cares. No one goes to the event anymore. Like, it's just, why would I drive to Emporia, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's because most people who watch professional disc golf are also people trying to compete on the AM side as well. And so for something like this, I think most of the people that were there would find a lot of value from some AM event or even an AM event that has a pro side and you can spectate the pro side, or heck, even no AM event and it's just a pro event and you can watch these pros up close and personal. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it's necessarily needed. I just think it would be added value to something like this. Like, I could just see a world where people are like flying all the way to Michigan just for Gyropalooza. I just don't know if I can justify that. But if it's like Gyropalooza plus some tournament, I really feel like that could add to the value of this weekend. And then my second major thought is I think MVP used this year as like a test for the future years of like, what would this look like? I think at some point they're going to make this a public event that you can just buy tickets to. My only thing that I think they should really hone in on is I think there should still be an exclusive aspect to it. I think that the exclusivity of it this year was something that added a lot of like, ooh and ah, and like, what, this is so cool. I think it'd still be really cool if it was like a public event that anyone could go to, but I think there should be a separate day or a separate segment that like the golden ticket winners get to experience. Maybe it's just a pro meet and greet that's much more up and close and personal than like what they would be doing for the general public. But I think they have something here. I'm really interested to see what they do with it for years to come. But I was telling someone while I was there, I was like, it kind of feels like MVP's the Apple of the disc golf scene. It seems like they have ideas and ingenuity, but they're never gonna like full send it and release it until it's like perfect in their eyes, you know? Like, I feel like they're not, or I know that they're not the type to like figure something out and then like without fully testing it or fully fleshing it out, just go ahead and tease it and release it. Like, they need to know that it's going to work and they need to know that it's quality. And I think that's what they did with Gyropalooza this year, and I think they'll probably do it at least one more year or 2 more years before they're like, okay, we can do this as a public event. And there's my take. As invaluable as it is.
Well, I'll say this. I I do agree with you. Like, if it can get to that like A tier, like super sick, which the only thing is there's not a single course near there.
Well, I think they could even pair it with toboggan. You know, like what if they did Gyropalooza the weekend of D-Glow? You know,
then that, from my experience, and this is just as an events guy, I think for that to happen, there's too much going on, and I think people just pick one or the other and don't.
Yeah,
probably go to Gyropalooza.
I agree with that.
But I'm just saying, I do agree with you. If they had like Black Locust and Toboggan was open during it, so it's the thought of like, could you do an A tier there? But then like, are the pros even gonna want to play and it's like October? But I'm just saying, like, I think that'd be their biggest hurdle to do that is
definitely there's no courses closed.
Because I was playing. The reason I'm saying this, I was playing pros versus Joes. I got picked to play against Simon and Jerem and James Conrad, and we went to like the closest course, which was 20 minutes away, and it was in like the baseball fields of a middle school or like close to Marlette, and it was just like one of the worst courses I ever played. I said, this is the Northwood Black of Marlette, and Germ loved it. He lost it, but yeah, it was just like in fields and nothing really crazy, and then there was like shared fairways. So
I kind of think that there would be a lot of value to like Gyropalooza is all day Sunday or all day Saturday, and then the other day of the weekend is a tournament. You know, I agree with you though. It's like so hard. Like, I'm sure they would want it to be like this world class course and world class tournament that's paired with Gyropalooza. So I know at one point they had like a really nice disc golf course in Marlette, but it got removed. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years we see MVP put something up of their own, and you know, maybe that would be the place for a tournament. Like, I am shocked that there's nothing close to MVP itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's in the middle of farmland and in nowhere. It's like,
true.
Yeah, it's just a tough place to really do anything. But it was cool. I stayed at like 20 minutes down the road in Sandusky, and I got like they had a comedy show that I could hear from my hotel room, so I got comedy. You know,
perfect.
I didn't, and then there was, like, you walk in and it's just a massive bar. It's like it was like a towny type thing. It was just like it was like this tiny little check-in window, but this massive bar with like a bunch of like locals there, and we were so confused at first how to check in because we're like, did we walk into the wrong place? Because it's like you walk into a restaurant. But I don't know. I thought that I don't even know what my point is here. I just thought that was cool. Like, I got to live a towny life in middle of nowhere, Michigan for a day, where it's just like everyone knows their names, and that's a bar everyone goes to and hangs out in. I heard some comedy, even though I couldn't see the guys. I just heard it in the background. So yeah, it was a pretty. For me, Gyropalooza, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was talking to Brad and Chad, owners of MVP, and I told them, they're like, yeah, there's a lot of things already that we are thinking about and stuff like that for next year. And I was like, yeah, the first year is always the worst year. And then so they're already like kind of thinking like, how can we make this better, more interactive, and like more streamlined, no pun intended, like for the drops. I think that was the biggest thing. They realized the line was kind of inefficient, or at least that like the pro shop line, like for the factory seconds, probably should have been in a different place. And yeah, they're gonna definitely do it bigger and better next year. I just don't know with something like that. I just don't know how to make it better in the sense of like where it's like entertaining. It's just because it's like their warehouse, so it's like hard. I don't know.
So my question is, well, first let me say this, Josh, you comparing it to DDO, I feel like is the perfect comparison, because at that time Dynamic was massive. I mean, they still have, don't they have like close to 100,000 subscribers or something like that on YouTube? Like, I feel like that really points to just like how big they were and like the content they were doing and all the people that were going for that event. So I guess, do you think this opens the door for other companies or other manufacturers to want to start doing this, seeing the success that this one had?
Could do it.
Oh my goodness, Discraft could make a killing doing this, you know? Like, yeah, with how much hype they get behind their discs, I think Discraft could do it. I mean, House of Discs could definitely still do it, you know? Like, they have 8 brands, you know? Like, just get a cool disc from every brand and drop it at this event. Like, really, all you need is some hyped up disc, a few exclusive drops, have your pros there, set up a few really cool little stations that you can do stuff. Like, they had a hot stamping machine, and they had a laser engraver, and they had like some putting
Donnie's
competitions, trivia, a little area you could hang out and toss a disc around. Like, they had a lot of, like, it was just like a fun day. Like, you could spend the whole day there, spend a lot of money as well. Like, I
spent a lot.
MVP made a lot of money, which
I spent a lot.
Good for them. You know, they know what they're doing. And then it was also just like a lot of value added for someone who goes to the event. It was technically free because anyone that got invited just got a ticket. Now, I did see some people complaining about parking. If you wanted to park on-site.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah, it was like there was a free shuttle, and it took 5 minutes to do that, and that's what I did.
Yeah, you could walk there in
you had
15
to pay
minutes
to park on-site, but it's because if you parked on-site, they have like this dinky parking lot. Like, obviously, it's a premium to park on-site. I don't know why people are complaining about that. So stupid.
That's
going after the parking made no sense because
I was like,
it's
bro,
like
what?
Free.
What are you talking about? So, I think they did a really good job. I definitely think a Discraft. I don't think Innova would ever, because they just don't do anything good ever.
I do not speak for J Million Innova. I still love you.
I'm just kidding. I'm obviously just kidding. I think this is like, I think Innova tries to do it at USDGC. Like, I obviously haven't been there, but it seems like USDGC is kind of like Innova's version of this, and obviously USDGC is done perfectly. Like, I don't know if Innova needs to do something like this, because truly MVP didn't even like let people see the manufacturing process. Like, it was really just a really cool event in the warehouse, but we were only in the shelves, like where they had stock. It wasn't like, I think in the future they will like figure out a way to let people kind of watch discs be made or like be around it.
I don't think they will.
Ever.
Because you know why? I have a story.
Okay, yeah. Please share. Well, let me say this first. I think that if you're going to do something like this at your warehouse, it's kind of like, why not let people see like the thing they want to see the most, you know? And so I think if a Discraft can use that as a selling point for why people should go to their Gyropalooza.
Discraft could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and share what you were going to
Yeah,
say.
Discraft could do it easily because they just do what everyone else does. Just inject, I think, because MVP's formula and how they do. I know there's a YouTube video, so I don't know how much they showed of that. But I think MVP, that's kind of like their whole identity and brand, this secret that they have. Like, they wouldn't let just anyone just, like, see it to, like, try and copy it with the whole gyro technology. That's honestly why I think it would never happen. For Discraft, I think it could happen because it's just, like, you're doing everything that everyone else is doing. But MVP's doing something different. And so it's protected by patent. And I also know this because I was asking about stamping, and the stamp guy there was just like being weird. At first, I thought he was being weird. I was like, what the heck? Why is the guy not responding to me? And then he's like, I can't really say. I was like, oh, so like even their stamping kind of is like proprietary. They do something unique with the stamping. And then I had 2 employees come up to me because they heard me ask about stamping, and they were like, "Yeah, we can't talk about it." So that was my story. So I think, and like I know the proprietary. I don't know how it's done, but I know like the reason why they want to keep it hidden is because Chad invented a stamping machine that's more efficient and stuff like that. So that, but I didn't know like they were protective about that. I was just asking because they had a stamping, like how they stamp. It was literally the public could see like how they do the tri-color, and I was just curious like if it was multiple machines or if they're like taking one disc to the other and stuff like that. Or like we can't really talk about it. So that's why I don't think it'll ever happen. I think the closest we'll get is probably the Everything Everyday video or whatever that guy's name is.
Excuse me, sir, you're asking too many questions. They just take
that's what happened, dude. That's what happened. I felt like I was getting frisked because 2 employees were sitting down, and then I heard that, and then they heard me, and then they just stood up and came up to me, and they're like, "We can't talk about it." I was like, "Oh, what crap! Like this is serious." I didn't realize it.
This boy asked a lot of questions. Would be unfortunate.
I think it was because they were confused. They thought I was like trying to pry, but I was literally just trying to be like, no, like I don't care about the process. I'm just curious as to like one machine, multiple machines, like, and
just
I
a
kept trying to
superficial.
I was trying to like elaborate why I didn't care, or why I like wasn't trying to like know how they do it. But I think because I kept yabbering like I do, they're like, all right, guy, stop. I was like, no, like I don't, and I just couldn't explain myself right, and I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care.
It's incredible. That's incredible.
That's hilarious. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's still a way they'll figure out some way to do it, but maybe not.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe.
Heck, if I'm a Discraft and I hear that they're not doing that, like, boom, easy marketing to be like, hey, come to our event, we'll show you how we make discs. You know?
Yeah,
and
right.
Boom, that's an instant, like, maybe some people would pick Discraft's Gyropalooza thing over MVPs. Now, I think most of the people that would be going to both of them are just going to be the MVP super fans and the Discraft super fans, you know? And so I don't know if it matters that much, but I don't know. It's interesting, and I think there's been maybe a new precedent set, and we might see like a Discraft or other brands start doing it in the future, because I do think there's a lot of value. And
well, I mean,
people made videos. I'm making a video, you know.
Yeah,
I think House of Disc has to do that during the Glass Blown Open. I mean, they have to, in my opinion.
They kind of do it though. Like
they do.
Yeah, they have, like, their warehouse is open. They do a stamping thing. They do a little fly mart. Now, I will say, from what I experienced, it wasn't as fleshed out as MVP's was, and I don't know, it wasn't as good, you know. And there weren't as like the discs they had there weren't like, oh my god. I guess they released the Heist for the first time, but it obviously wasn't as hyped as some of the MVP releases that were coming out.
But that just comes down to branding. MVP's
True.
King right now, and
well, they also
House
just
of Discs
don't.
is not.
They just don't really have names right now on their roster. No offense to the people that they have right now, but like they also weren't there during that, were they, Josh? Right? Because it wasn't on the Pro Tour this year. So like,
yeah, I guess the pros being there would help them.
No pros were there. I mean, sorry, there were pros there, but it wasn't like Dynamics team. Like Zach Nash was playing, Jaden Rye was playing, like some really talented players were there, but no one that's like, I mean,
Parker Welk, Evan
Welk,
Smith,
Ty Love,
Burridge,
like
Ty Love,
their name brand players, you know, that they are resting their laurels on. None of those guys were there, so yeah, it made it much harder.
But now that it's House of Disc, they can get anyone. They can even get Gannon. He's technically part of House of Discs.
Yeah, they should do some. I don't know if it needs to be GBO, but they should definitely do some type of big event like this.
Yeah, like a flagship event that draws people to you, that you're not just like House of Discs and you're like, it just is like a name and you know what that name is, but there's no sense of community or like a thing that's centered around that name. And I feel like with sequences like that, because Innova kind of has like USDGC, and like that's like a huge thing that people are like, oh, you hear that event and you think Innova a lot of times, or like even MBO. Like now being in this area for Myrtle Beach Open, the number of people down here that are so hype about that Innova event is, it's like every other person that comes into the shop. It's like one of their favorite events of the year.
MBO?
Myrtle Beach Open.
The Myrtle Beach Open. I know a lot of times they do like coverage for it. It's like one of the bigger A tiers at the end of the season.
Yeah, because it's still warm.
That's really cool.
When you speak, you just said about like bigger events. One thing that Germ said to me, which I thought was hilarious, and I didn't pick up on. He's like, I was like, hey, when I first met him, I was like, what up, Germ? And he's like, yeah, Gyropalooza's awesome. He's like, if only like someone did this, but like on a much grander scale. And I was like, yeah, that'd be sick. And then he just looks at me. I'm like, oh, he was talking about the expos. So that was just a funny little interaction that I thought I'd share with Germ. I had no idea at first what he's talking about. He was like, if only someone did this at a much grander scale and got a few different vendors here. I was like, oh, thanks.
A good nod to Ben and what you're doing. Has to be cool, right? After the first year of struggling. Oh, not struggling, but like trying to get your name in the door.
Yeah, basically. And we're known. Basically, no one cared. But expos are coming up soon. I'm already getting vendors applying, and someone in this, both of you might be coming to Skis. I don't know officially. But yeah, it's been really cool to see, and just random people signing up, and it's going to be we're moving to a new venue, so it's going to be this Skis is going to be massive. And I have some things working on in the background that I really hope go through and work out. So it's going to be the Coachella of disc golf, I think, this year. I think this is the year where it's going to be like really, really crazy. So yeah, check out Disc Golf Expos.
The 23rd through
24th, 25th, and then March 7th and 8th for Disc South. But check out discgolfexpos.com or disceast.com and discsouth.com for just information and when tickets go on sale. I have them right now going on sale in December. I don't know if I'm going to change that, but we shall see. So it's gonna be pretty awesome. So check it out.
Transitioning. One of the things that we haven't talked about because we had an off week was Pro Tour Championships. Every single person and their mother has talked about Aaron Gossage and the unfortunate way that his tournament ended in Virginia. Do we have any extraneous thoughts that we feel need to be added to that fire, or do we feel
you
like
guys can go because I already talked about it?
Oh well, if you did, then that's fine.
No. Our audience is different, so like some people just listen to us. So I think we should talk about it.
Break it down for us, Sajko.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Dance.
So Aaron Gossage was leading, I believe, going into that last round. So there were 4 rounds, and this 4th round was at Ivy Hill. And for those that don't know Ivy Hill, it was one of the 2 courses, the converted ball golf course, that was used at the World Championships in 2024. So they redid hole 14, I think was the hole. The one that, if you've seen it, it's been everywhere on Instagram and social media, of James Proctor, RIP, to the tour. Hitting, I think like a...
Wait, he's not going on tour next year?
Oh my Miller!
Sorry for you to find out this way. Yeah,
why not?
I think it just is time for a lot of people, and I think we'll
find
that
Callaway,
to be the case. Yeah, exactly. I think we'll find that to be the case for a lot of people this off season. Unfortunately,
is he going back to being a teacher, or has he not?
I don't know if he actually announced what it was, but just based on prior experience, I would imagine whatever he was doing before is probably what he would have the most success getting back into.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can talk about this stuff later.
Wow. But hole 14 was the hole that James Proctor was at the bottom of the hill. So to paint the picture, imagine 45-degree angle hill, like grassy, where like the basket is probably 30 feet up, if I had to guess, something like that, on that hill. goes to like make his putt, and it splashes out and just rolls away like 125 feet, something like that. So they've changed that hole a little bit because it got a lot of heat. They made the green kind of like up at the top of that hill, I think, and it was like surrounded by rocks to prevent people from rolling away. So what first happened was Aaron Gossage on that hole, probably one of the more important holes of his career. You know, they're playing for, I forgot how many tens of thousands of dollars at this point.
Lots of money.
I think 30 was a 30K winner. I think Gossage got 15K.
Yeah, that's when it's been traditionally, but I didn't know what it was this year. So he lines up his shot, and that's about when people start like getting weird because he was taking a lot of time getting ready, and people weren't really sure at what point, going back to the rule changes of like, okay, when you approach your lie is what is always used and like referenced for like, hey, that's when the time starts. Like, what does that mean? He was at his lie, but then I think he like moved his lie or something like that because he was playing from OB, something like that. I don't even know if that's possible, but anyways, that's what he did. So overall, it was like a minute and 15 seconds or something like that. Throws, comes up short. Wasn't sure if he hit the rocks. So apparently if you hit the rocks up by the green, you get to take it from up there. The spotter said that he didn't hit the rocks, but you watch like a frame of it for like one of the cameras, and it kind of looks like he does. So it's like a giant debate. So then he being Aaron starts to get kind of
Flustered.
heated. Yeah, he gets flustered and starts talking to officials, and he throws again, gets up on the green, and then goes to make his putt, misses, and then taps out. He like goes out of turn, taps out, and then I heard Paul Ulibarri talking about on Jomez that I guess after he tapped out, he went over and was like, talking, yelling, whatever it is, to the officials, and that's happening while Calvin is like lining up his putt. So Calvin is the one that's like vying for the lead at this point, and then like goes and misses his putt. So people are being like, "Oh, it could have been because of Aaron," and freaking out and whatever. So point being, I think it's just because Aaron was losing his cool on broadcast. I'm sure to a certain degree. Well, here, I won't make an assumption. Do you think how he felt, or like what was doing in that moment, is justified? What are your thoughts on it? And I guess, yeah, we'll start with that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I didn't watch. So part of the reason I said break it down is because I didn't know the whole situation. But from what I'm hearing, like, I don't think it's justified. Like, if you're going to freak out on the officials or whoever, you got to wait till the hole is over, you know? Like, hey, maybe whisper, but, like, obviously if people think that there's a chance that Calvin missed the putt because you were talking or yelling or whatever during this putt, like, you know, like, you're professional on the literal highest stage. Like, you gotta be held to a higher standard, in my opinion. But I obviously didn't watch it, wasn't there, don't know the full situation. I mean, obviously he's playing for the most money he's probably ever competed for, you know, in his, or like been in contention for in his whole life.
His first win. I don't know if it counts as
I
a lead
understand
series
that
win,
emotions run high, but you know, you gotta be able to control that. Like, especially like, I think the main issue in this situation is that you might have messed someone else up. Like, there's a level of professionalism that comes with playing on the Pro Tour, and you know, sometimes we haven't seen the best from some players, but like, you can mess up yourself, you can't mess up someone else. Like, that should just not be allowed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I will say, Calvin did end up going on to win.
True.
And I don't think Calvin would be the person that would claim that what Aaron was doing is what like messed him up.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people, like, if they razz me, like, I'm like, don't blame yourself. I should be able to handle it. You know, like, sometimes people will like accidentally be loud during my putt or my throw, and then they'll be like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Like, I messed you up." And I'm like, yeah, that might have been the case, but like, I want to be in a place where I can handle that. Like, I'm not blaming you. Like, don't feel bad. like I need you to do that because I want to be better, you know.
On Staggered Stance, Calvin did say that he probably should have reset. And that's in the nice Calvin way, saying that Gossage did mess him up on that putt.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying for the rest of the term. But on that putt specifically, it definitely did kind of razz him per se. But he
won.
Joey Tamale was saying that, and on our podcast, Staggered Stance, that Calvin used that as fuel to win that missed putt. Not like that he hates Aaron and he's
Yeah.
but like that missed putt, he's like that probably was the fuel to win. That's what Joe. And if you want to listen to like the whole encounter of what Aaron thinks, and I think maybe Calvin, it's Tour Life has a whole podcast where Aaron literally explained everything from his perspective.
Yeah, I don't know if I did any of that justice. I was kind of watching as I was filling in the shop sort of deal. So there may be like a couple details that don't do the story justice, but it may also not even be as bad as the way that I'm describing it. But it is also difficult to make it not sound bad.
I think he was just super passionate. I think everything was in the realm of like acceptable because like off the tee slipped, and then he's a very passionate and outspoken on the tee, and I don't know if that's the correct word, but that means like even like when he's on coverage, he's like, "Come on, Goose, you got this. Come on!" Like he's hyping himself. He's talking a lot. So I think that's all fine in the realm of, because some people just process it better. Like that, honestly, that's how I process it. Like I am verbal, and I'm like, "Are you kidding, Ben? No," and that just helps me kind of get it out and move on. I'd like to not be verbal, honestly, but I guess some people are just more like that. I think I just agree with Jay Milley. I think once it kind of distracted Calvin, I think that's when it was like definitely a little too far. But before that, I think it was kind of like, you know, in the realm of acceptable for an athlete who's, you know, trying to win a tournament. You can't expect everyone to just be like Marty Villeman or Silva, stone cold,
truly.
You know.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, I think that I've caddied for someone who was on a card with Goose, and yeah, like every time he throws, there's something, you know. Sometimes maybe some obscenities and profanity is being said, but I really don't take much issue with that as long as it's not affecting someone else. And I really don't think it's the end of the world. Like, if after he throws a bad shot, he shows some emotion, like, I don't think that's bad. And if as a player you're letting that affect you, you know, before you're even lining up your shot or getting in the zone, I think that's more on you than it is on Goose. Like, I think it should be allowed. But when it is bleeding into someone else's routine, or like when they are really like getting set up and then, you know, they hear you arguing in the background, like that's when I take issue with it. And I think that's kind of what you're saying as well, Ben.
Yeah, I think there's like a 3 to 5 second thing where you can, like, you know, vent to yourself, like say a few words, but also that's a fine line too. You can't, if that becomes like swearing and yelling and just like all over the place, because some people do that too. Like, even if it's short, if you're like just doing outbursts, I think it's like, it's a fine line that honestly you're just better to not say anything at all. But if you're like someone like me, I'm saying, where it's like hard for me to, like, that emotion inside, I think like
it's cathartic.
Yeah,
it's cathartic.
like a come on, bro, is fine. But if you're like and it kicks something, and then I think that's when it's kind of like 2-3 years ago, I did kick my bag, but in a funny way. It wasn't in a it wasn't in a frustration way. It was a stupid hole. It was just like, you know, one of those holes that are just like super steep, like kind of ridiculous. You had to throw up the hill. I putted it, and I missed, obviously. And then my disc just started rolling down the hill. And it's coming toward my bag. So I'm like, oh no. So, because I have like a split second reaction. I don't know what to do. So without even thinking, I just run to my bag, try and punch it as far as I can out of the way. Because the disc, like my bag's here, the disc is like here. And turned out that I kicked my bag into the disc, and that if I probably didn't kick my bag, that the disc would not have hit it. It just was so close that I didn't realize it. But yeah, I kicked my bag to try and avoid a stroke, and I got stroked because I impeded with the
Bro,
disc.
that's hilarious.
So that was the one time I kicked. Yeah, I don't know why the first year of disc golf I was a rage monster. I think I was expecting to be good, and I just wasn't. So it just made me frustrated to no end. But I think that's kind of the cool thing about disc golf. You kind of like learn yourself and start to learn like how to manage things better, and you know, like I'm still boisterous and loud sometimes, but like it's not as, you know, I've grown to the where I'm not like throwing my hat or kicking my bag or just like yelling. So I don't know. I don't know. Just cool realizations, I guess.
Definitely.
You got it. So I guess ending the episode, the thing that we have coming up that I kind of talked about at the beginning, match play. Is that correct? That is in Charlotte.
Yep.
Is anyone going to watch that? Do we have interest at all, or is it just kind of like, hey, whatever?
Probably watch it. Maybe. I don't know if I have time. I'm not like interested, but like I'll watch it. It's disc golf.
I'll maybe try to be there for like the sake of
You'll be
watching or covering, but that's pretty much it. So I guess I can give my inside scoop thoughts on that, because even like you guys talking about, I saw the people complaining about parking. Hearing like what you guys said about like, yeah, that's ridiculous. You know, like I heard that and I'm like, oh, that sucks. But then you sharing your info, I now have a better understanding of where it's like, no, that makes no sense at all. They shouldn't. You know, it provides context, and yeah, hopefully I can do that next week.
Yeah, and their shuttle, when I got there was 3 shuttles just waiting. So their shuttle system, and they're massive like tour bus shuttle. So their shuttle system wasn't bad. It was just literally, you were just paying like for your avocado or guacamole on your Chipotle. You were just paying extra because you wanted to. You didn't have to.
Makes sense. Sweet. Any closing thoughts?
Funsie, I love you.
Funsie, I love you.
Funsie.
Yeah, until next time. Peace out, guys.
Peace.